Hey guys, Korean dumpling में आपका स्वागत है. मेरा नाम Rebecca है.
And I'm Arnav.
So today we wanted to do a quick review on the movie.
Yeah,
called Axone.
Axone, but it's written as Axone. It's a lot of you guys had recommended us to watch. It's on Netflix and it kind of highlights the prejudices and the injustices, or just the harsh reality of what the Northeast people need to face all over India, especially in, as the movie is based in Delhi. And we thought we should give it a go, and we watched it last week.
And it kind of centers upon the dish that is
Axone. Not sure we are saying it right.
Yeah, which apparently is meant to be quite smelly because it's made from fermented soybeans.
Fermented soybean and pork.
Okay,
yeah.
But I don't think it's the pork that's...
It's not, it's the fermentation of the soy that kind of makes it really smelly. So we wanted to quickly give a review and maybe discuss, and we also have a kind of a video that we wanted to watch. It has a couple of cast members from the movie who talk about their discrimination, what they faced in their lives. So first, obviously, you go first. What did you think about the movie?
So I was quite surprised at how bad it was. So there was a scene, for example, where this guy kind of harasses, says stuff about one of the Northeast Indian ladies
in Hindi,
and obviously she understood it, and so she confronted him, and it was surprising how people reacted. And I don't know if that's because they were Northeast Indian or if that's how people just react in general to a woman who actually speaks up about harassment. Because it seems like, these things do happen in India, but also in other places. But it seems particularly like in India, some people feel like it's not something that you should speak up about, or they feel like it's the girl's fault.
Yeah, I think it was just... It's not like you shouldn't speak about it. It's just, I think they were taking advantage of the fact where they thought the Northeastern girl doesn't understand Hindi.
But it also so that the vendor who was there, or the other people who were present,
they totally ignored.
Were like, no, I didn't hear anything,
even though they clearly heard it.
Yeah,
which just does happen. But
that's something I don't think anyone should ever be afraid to speak up about something like this, especially if you're a man. Because you do have some privileges as a man. You're more likely to be trusted than a woman. The woman who said that, you said something, and then I'm getting very worked up about this.
That's fine.
More so than about the Northeast Indian thing, because I think as a woman, I think these kinds of things are not allowed, and I think that as a man, you do have a privilege, and you should speak up to protect a woman.
Yeah, and he failed to do it.
Yeah, and I understand, when you get closer on, you understand why he was scared.
He was beat up and he almost died, and obviously he's scared for his life.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to speak up.
But then I think it's also interesting how, because this show mostly showed about Northeast Indian and what things happen to Northeast Indian people, but they also showed how you can also kind of make it worse for yourself, because this man would only be friends with Northeast Indian people. And then there was one part where... Are we okay to say spoilers? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to assume that everyone's watched it then.
Yeah.
So there was one part near the end when he called, what would you call him? A mainland Indian guy?
Yeah.
So he called him, "You effing Indian."
Yeah.
And then the guy was really, obviously
taken
shocked.
Aback.
And he was like, "But I thought we were all Indian." And I think it's good to know that there are people that aren't always against you, and you can't feel like everyone is against you. You have to accept that, yes, there are going to be bad people, but there are also going to be good people, and you need to try and integrate yourself with the good people too. And I think it did a good job of doing that. It didn't show that everyone is bad, and that...
Yeah, it did show where, there are people who are bad.
Yeah.
And this shit happens.
Yeah.
But they're also very open-hearted, welcoming, friendly people who are very accepting of different cultures and are more than happy to...
try and help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also want to be part of it too. They want to also join in your party and help out if they can.
Just be a friend.
Yeah.
And be someone who you can trust and be friends with.
Yeah, I think that was really nice to show that, it's not just them against us. It's
they're good people and they're bad people, and then you just have to find the right people.
Yeah.
You know, they're always going to be good and bad, no matter where you go. It's not just between mainland Indians and Northeast Indians. It's wherever you go, really. So that was quite good. But I think the movie was. It didn't have the strongest plot in terms of
I think
the storyline,
because it's centered around that dish.
Yeah.
And because I don't know the culture, I couldn't really understand what was so important about that dish that they would go through so much to get it done, because they could have had the party without it, couldn't they? Could they? I don't know. You let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's probably one of those traditional things that is always there at a wedding.
Right.
You know, like it could be anything. Like for Chinese people, it probably is, I don't know, dim sum or you know, anything that is very important culturally and traditionally. They wanted to make sure it's there, so that it represents that, okay, your wedding was complete. It's like something the wedding wouldn't have been complete without it.
Actually, another thing I thought was weird was the fact that the girls who was getting married, like, because she wasn't there in person, her sister took her place.
That was weird. But then
they had it over video.
They said it used to happen in the olden days, where the man had gone out for war. So because they can't come back, somebody else would take place in their place. But doesn't happen anymore. Even the priest was saying that.
Okay.
Yeah. That was quite interesting. I did not know of anything like that. Like I've never heard somebody getting.
But why is it not possible for them to just like change the date? Is that not a thing?
Could be, but it's also like in a lot of our culture, there's a particular date that you need to get married on.
Auspicious.
The best day for the longest marriage life, the longest lives of your partner, and all. Like everything aligns, the planets and the moons and everything aligns, and you know that's the most auspicious day you should get married on. So they didn't want to give up on that, so they wanted to do it on that particular day. Like personally, I would be like, we can wait. And do it in the next year. But if they wanted to do it that day, they wanted to do it on that day. I think it's a personal choice. But that was quite interesting to see that something like that existed. I never knew. Even the other mainland Indian guy, he was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? So that was quite interesting.
Oh, another thing I'm gonna bring up another female thing again.
Go for it.
Was when they were at the door and all the neighbors and everyone was like going on at them, and then this man like proper gets in her face, and I can't understand. I can't understand how any man can do that to a woman. Like another thing, it's like
you have to understand.
I know that obviously we want to be equal, but women are physically weaker than men. We can be strong and stuff, but I don't think a man should ever do that.
But you also understand India is a very, unfortunately, very patriarchal society.
But isn't that you should protect the woman?
No, it's not about protecting. It's about who gives the orders. It's patriarchy in India is not about. It's about who rules the house, who takes the last call, who gets the last laugh. It's the man. If anything happens, the man decides what's going to happen, right? So. But
I don't mind the man deciding what's going to happen. I don't want a man getting in my face though.
Yeah, but
like that, there should always be a boundary there that you do not,
Yeah, but.
Against a female.
I get it. I don't agree with that scene either. But.
Because you're always going to be intimidating to a female.
Exactly. But it's how it is. People.
I don't know. That really bothered me, and the fact that nobody did anything either. Like there was the grandma there, and like you could tell that the friend who was like friends with everyone, he wanted to do something, and the grandma held him back, and like there were so many people there, and not one person was like, "You've gone too far."
Yeah.
And then the lady had a panic attack, and I'm not surprised because this man was literally like towering over her, and jabbing his finger at her face and stuff.
Yeah.
That made me angry.
Yeah, the movie did have a few not so nice bits. Yeah. But it was just showing you the reality, really. Like these kind of things happen. I'm not saying everybody is like that. They're nice people and they're not so nice people. Again, just like everything else. It just showed a few things that happens.
Yeah.
Like that grandma owning the entire building, and she decides who comes and who goes in, even if they are paying rent. That's very normal. Yeah. Like you make the rules. If it's my building, if I'm renting you the flat, I can tell you it's not so free that you can bring whoever you want kind of thing. So those rules are a bit strict and are a bit old school, and I think it shouldn't be the case. Well, but I mean, the movie was good. It was quite enjoyable and good to see all these. I mean, obviously, I think her name is Sayani Gupta. I've seen her in other shows. Sayani Gupta? Yeah, Sayani Gupta. So I've seen her in other TV shows, and she does other Amazon Prime shows and stuff. But I had no idea about the other people, especially like the Northeast actors. It's good to give them a bit of a platform.
I did notice in some of the comments where we went in our channel where we said that we watched the show, and some people said that they butchered the Mizo accent or something.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised because I assumed that they got people who represented that.
That's
true.
True.
To do the show.
But they probably got the people who are into this media and this movie industry. Even read, but they'll not just get anybody, right? They'll not get somebody from the streets.
No, but I'm sure there's at least one person from each of those states who would have been a qualified actor or actress to do the job. I don't know.
But yeah, I guess it's hard to do the accents or hard to do exactly how to pronounce those languages. Again, it's very subjective.
And I think it was also interesting to see the how even within Northeast Indian people there is some, they're not necessarily prejudice, but like one of the girls, what was she from Nepal? She was Nepali or something.
She was from Nepal, yeah.
And then
Sayani Gupta, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were saying that they don't all consider you as one of us.
Northeast, yeah, because I mean, technically Nepal is not a part of India, but there are a lot of Nepali people, and it's very similar culture.
Yeah.
So the problem also lies within India as well. Indian people within India fight with each other. Like they don't like each other. They don't like tolerate each other. There's a lot of problem that occurs within India, within neighboring states. I mean, right now, Assam and Mizoram.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know
there's
what's
some
happening.
massive shit stirring right now. Something to do with the border. So like Assam is doing something and Mizoram is doing something, and some Mizoram people are saying, "Oh, please, save us from Assam," and some Assamese guys are like, "Oh, Mizo people are taking our border." So there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's within the country. It's not even two different countries. It's within like states fighting with states. So, and this is just the Northeast I'm talking about. So things happen. A lot of tension between different tribes and different people from different states. So I think it's sad. I hope people can live peacefully, because if people just fight within their states, how are they going to be? How are they going to be with the rest of the country? Like they need to stand united against all the other issues instead of just fighting within themselves.
Yeah.
You guys maybe can explain us what's going on between Assam and Mizoram, because that's quite really interesting. Overall, I think the movie was pretty good. We also wanted to quickly watch a video where a couple of cast members discuss what happened to their their kind of experiences.
Oh, excuse me, Japanese.
First time I ever felt so bad in life for being a Northeasterner, for being someone who had accent.
How much can you indulge and how much effort can you make to change mindsets,
Rather, I fear the adjectives used to describe my mother and my sister.
Constantly you're having to prove your identity, you're having to prove your nationality, and then when you get angry, people are like, "Oh, what is wrong with you? You might be anti-national."
My relationship with racism in life can be put under two broad categories: institutional and casual. Now, because I grew up in Delhi, I no longer pay heed to the uncreative pronouns used by my fellow citizens to offend me. I do not fear the adjectives used to describe me amidst giggles and hushed voices. Rather, I fear the adjectives used to describe my mother and my sister in crowded metros and buses.
I know for a fact that
there are people still in our country who don't know where Manipur is or don't know where Sikkim is. They don't even forget about knowing anything about them, but they don't even know that these states are part of our country.
When I first came to Bombay as a teenager, I had a very, very thick accent, a northeastern accent.
What we've been seeing and witnessing with the pandemic as well, with people being called Corona in China, and the girl who was spat on. I was standing with him in a queue, not just once, on multiple occasions, and sometimes somebody would come and ask, oh, excuse me, Japanese? Or somebody else would be like, you're from Korea, So that kind of thing.
I did my education from here, and when I was in 11th standard, one of the teachers asked me to pick up an article from a magazine and read out. So I was on a podium and I started reading a few lines, and she asked me to stop reading. She said, nobody can understand what you're reading. You should learn how to speak first, and then you should come to the class.
Today I was talking to Lynn.
But she's a teacher, she should be teaching her.
Even she was saying that the sad part is that we've started ignoring it. And probably it's not a good thing, but what do you do? Because how much can you indulge and how much effort can you make to change mindsets, So you start ignoring it, then you start laughing about it. So that's the thing. But when constantly you're having to prove your identity, you're having to prove your nationality, and then when you get angry, people are like, oh, what is wrong with you? You might be anti-national.
I felt ridiculed. I felt very small at that point of time. I was a teenager. I was barely 15 or 16. That was the first time I ever felt so bad in life for being a Northeasterner, for being someone who had accent.
But these are people who are educated, who've gone to school, who've learned geography. I'm often bewildered at the level of ignorance and level of being unaware, but also the prejudices, There's a lot of physical violence that breaks out because how much of bullying and catcalling and discrimination can you take? So there's a lot of physical altercations.
I fear not the treatment of me in temples and mosques. Rather, I fear my sister's late night lonely walks. I'm grateful. The Constitution allows me to roam around freely around the nation. Can you do us a favor and do away with that racist slur that links us to the oldest profession? Fellow citizens, this is the only thing I ask of you. Because if I were to talk of systemic racism, this poem will be swept under the carpet too.
So, obviously that video was quite powerful actually.
Yeah.
It's stronger than the movie itself.
Yeah, I think so actually.
What
are the things, so the guy said that he's worried about what they will say to his sister and what they say to his mum, and worried about his sister's walks and stuff. Are Northeast women more likely to be harassed than regular mainland Indian women?
More likely to get called, right? 'Cause, obviously if you're a girl and you're walking at night, you're not safe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are from the Northeast and you're a girl, it's
Is it worse?
It's worse. It's automatically worse because you are
different.
Yeah, you are more likely to get called a name, and also might be at the chance of sexually harassed or whatever. So it's double danger.
When I was in India, I don't think I ever felt that unsafe.
It's because we are going out in the daytime. It's because we are you're not alone. You're not traveling alone.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, our friend Amy.
Oh gosh, she travelled alone.
She travelled alone.
Someone's followed her.
Someone followed her. And out of nowhere else but Delhi.
Yeah.
That was the only place she felt unsafe.
She travelled completely on her own. She went on trains.
Yeah.
She went everywhere. And the only place where she experienced anything was in Delhi when the man followed her, and in the end she turned around and shouted at him, and thankfully he stopped.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what would have happened if, you know, if
like the worst could have happened.
Yeah.
But
like, what if there was not just one man? What if there was more? I don't know. But thankfully, I think her speaking up for herself was enough to stop him. But obviously, that's not what always happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was quite worried, and I had told all of my friends who came to my wedding, and because they all went traveling afterwards, I did tell everyone, like, please be safe. Call us if you need anything. Like, have a phone. Just always stick together. Don't.
But the thing is, everybody was in couples except Amy. Amy wanted to travel alone. So big ups to her for traveling all alone.
Yeah, I think she did end up meeting some people like in hostels and stuff.
Yeah.
And she went out with them, so that was
good for her. Like she's very brave.
She's very brave.
But yeah, like you would feel unsafe if you are to travel at night alone.
There was a couple of times when I was unsure. One of the times was when we went to buy alcohol in that mall in Delhi. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That time I felt a little bit unsafe because the whole mall, I think I didn't see one woman.
That mall it's not even a mall. It was supposed to be a mall.
Okay.
And it failed pretty badly.
So all they sell is alcohol now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's called Star City Mall. It's in Mayur Vihar. If any viewers from Delhi, you probably know. I grew up in New Delhi, in Mayur Vihar. So that mall was supposed to be the big mall for that area, but it never caught up because of its location, because of its whatever. And the only thing that sells is that alcohol shop, because obviously alcohol shop will sell.
Yeah.
So
that was probably one of the only times I felt quite unsafe because there was quite a lot of men.
Yeah, because women generally don't go and buy alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's usually the male friends or the man of the house goes and buys these things.
And then when else did I feel unsafe? I think that was really it.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever felt... Oh, when we went to the post office. But that was during the day, and it wasn't that I felt unsafe, I felt very uncomfortable. Because nobody had any sense of personal space.
That's understandable. I mean, obviously that's because it's just how India is, really. Like, there is not enough...
Like, we were meant to be in a queue for the post office, but it was not as much of a queue as just people standing around you, and they're like literally touching your... Like, they're like this close to you.
Yeah.
And I was very uncomfortable because it'd probably be... It wouldn't be okay if it was a woman, but it would be more okay than if it was a man. And there was quite a lot of men as well.
And people take advantage of those kind of situations where they're like, oh, I didn't do anything. Somebody pushed me from the back. But in reality, it's actually that person doing it to fill you up, which is freaking ridiculous.
Thankfully, obviously, Arnav knew, because I think I have a bigger personal space bubble than a lot of people anyway.
No, that's because you grew up here.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
You grew up in the UK where personal space and the queuing etiquettes is on a different level.
Yeah.
So, you know, you automatically, it's not even something you think of.
Yeah.
On the other way around, in India, personal space is something you don't expect or you don't know what is.
Yeah.
So, it's not something you think of.
Yeah.
Somebody pushing in the queue is just normal because that's what it is, right? So
Arnav kind of put his arm and then he kind of created like a buffer. So that was nice, but yeah. I think those were the only two times where I really felt, and like obviously I see people stare at us, but it's never to the point, because it happens here. We went to Boots the other day and there was like an Indian family and that man stared at me as well. But I think it's more again, like, why are they together?
Yeah, it's again, why is this brown person with this Chinese woman, or how is it possible, or whatever. Like, people don't expect, you know, people expect a lot of, like, these things to be not the normal, right? It's not the norm. Yeah. So they think, how is this even possible?
But I've never heard anyone say anything, but then maybe I wouldn't know anyway because they're probably speaking like a different language.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure people speak behind our backs. I'm sure there are people who look down at us, or people who think this is wrong, or whatever reason. I don't give a shit.
I mean, we've had comments, people saying that this
it happens. It happened in the UK, in India, in Hong Kong, like everywhere. People will not approve of the other person.
Yeah.
But they're also very nice people who understand.
Yeah.
You know, who understand and who are quite supportive. So yeah, the moral of the story is they're good people and they're bad people. You just got to
Yeah.
find the right people
Yeah.
to hang out with. And
I hope that more people kind of understand what Northeast Indian people go through when they do go to the mainland, and people can be more understanding of their culture and just maybe try to understand more about, you know, the things that they have to go through. I think there are some people that believe that it's not true, that these are propaganda stuff and that it's not real, but it does happen.
The thing is, it's not like we are saying it happened everywhere.
No.
You know?
And we're not saying that everyone does this either.
Exactly. And we are not saying that the whole country is pure and, you know, heart of gold or something. There are some bad things and there are some good things. So no matter what you say, these things won't go away until the change comes within the country. And I think government has a big role to play, because the government doesn't put their foot down and actually implement rules, or you know, like how they have criminalized the word.
Yeah.
And now obviously if you say that, you will be in jail, which
Yeah.
is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be calling people by that word, you know.
And also, like, obviously racism happens everywhere, happens here as well. But I think here it's more known that it's not accepted. You know, it's more of a, people don't do it as vocally because they know that it's not going to be accepted. Whereas maybe, like in the show, maybe they don't think that it's being racist or it's being discriminatory, but it is.
Yeah, well, it's obviously India is such a diverse country. It probably, people think everybody just looks like them,
Yeah.
and the other people. So obviously it's not just between the northeast and the rest of India. Southeast, I mean the southern part of India have problems with the northeast. Like every South Indian is called a Tamil. Like, why? Not the whole entire South India is Tamil, from Tamil Nadu, right? The other people.
Is Tamil like a...
Yeah, it's like a language.
No, but is it...
Yeah.
Are they meaning it in a derogatory way?
Just like say you're South Indian or you're dark skinned and you always eat rice, you don't know how to eat good food, or you don't speak Hindi. Just calling someone Madrasi, you know, is someone from Madras, which is in Tamil Nadu. People just call it Madrasi. Like any South Indian person, they'll just call it Madrasi. Like why, right?
Okay.
So these kind of things happen, and same with South Indian people, where every North Indian, they're like, oh, they're Punjabi and they're rude and they are obnoxious and uneducated. It's not the case again. There are people in Punjab or in Delhi or whatever who are educated and well behaved. So it's not just a problem in one part of the country. It's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And every place has good people and bad people. So I think hopefully as the country progresses, as the country gets more educated, they learn more about each other and are willing to accept themselves and others more. Until then, I mean, obviously you can hope for the best and just, you know, just got to be strong, I think.
Yeah. Cool. So that is the end of the video. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about our reaction and our thoughts. Let us know if you've watched the movie, and let us know what you thought about the movie. If you have any other movies or shows that you want to recommend to us, do let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, why not? Please subscribe.
And also, you know, on our community post, we have sent a kind of a poll of the type of videos we want to do, we should be doing, or we haven't done yet. So leave a comment there so that we have ideas for our future videos. We'll probably see you in the next video.
Bye.